We are back with another episode of Miscellaneous and Brown. And we're coming with another very special guest, Robert Bulatao, who is running for city council in District 6 in California. Yo, Filipinos are taking over in California, man. We're running for office. We're feeling empowered. And I'm about to introduce you to another one, Robert Aguilar Bulatao. Let's go. Welcome to Miscellaneous and Brown.
What's up, pare?
What's up,
It's
Ade? How are you, man?
good. It's Bulatao, but that's close enough. Too many
Bulatao.
vowels.
Bro, see, look, I practiced it
I'm already
before we
switching you
started,
up.
and it still fell out of my mouth wrong. It's all good. But
It's all
say it for everybody correctly.
Oh yeah, Robert Aguilar Bulatao.
Bulatao. What did I say?
Uh, but Lotto.
Well, you know what? I'm
Close
sure.
enough.
You know, I'll say this. I have a name, Erick Esteban, and people still mispronounce it. So I get it, bro. I'm sorry. I apologize, but you were able to pronounce it correctly. But at the end of the day, the most important part is you are running for city council in District 6. Now, where is that? Where is that exactly in California?
So San Leandro is just a little bit south of Oakland. So I'm running for District 6, which is the area close to the marina. It's primarily a bunch of single-family houses, mostly low income, literally on the wrong side of the railroad tracks. So, we get all that smog and stuff from 880, and it's all right.
But it is definitely a place where, well, I get it, where people aren't necessarily always represented properly.
Yeah,
So,
correct.
or it hasn't been represented properly, and it's cool that you're taking the initiative. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What got you started into this endeavor?
Yeah. So the whole fight for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Um, well, it's kind of a long story, but I'll cut it down a little bit. So
No,
essentially,
don't cut it
right after
down. We got
I
a lot of time,
no,
man. Tell your
oh, we got
story,
a lot of
homie. Tell
time.
your story.
All right,
We
I'm gonna
got a
tell it
lot of
from the
time.
beginning
There
then.
you go.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. So
Well,
I
I
was
mean,
born in
you're a
the
busy man. Me,
yeah.
I just, this is all I'm just podcasting. So
I was
go
just
ahead,
gonna
man.
go
I'm sorry. Sorry to
play
interrupt you.
video games and stuff right after this, but but yeah. So I was born in 1984 over in Santa Clara, right? I'm the youngest of four boys. My parents got divorced when I was about 3 years old, and so I was pretty much raised by a single mom most of the time. And you know, um, I had a lot of family out here. A lot of cousins. My Lola was the one that was babysitting us most of the time, and so that really opened my eyes to the as an adult the struggles that single moms go through. Uh, but I was working since I was about 16 years old. The first job I had was in Great America. And from there, worked in restaurants, worked retail, Fry's Electronics, rest in peace. And then I ended up moving down to SoCal to follow a girlfriend. I was working as a massage therapist, and I got a job at this bougie spa called Glen Ivy Hot Springs down in Corona. If you ever
Okay.
heard, yeah. So I had my dream job. I'm here getting paid, getting locked in a room for an hour, just putting people to sleep, getting nice tips, and I'm just a young 20-something-year-old guy. Um, but eventually, we had a little bit of a family tragedy back in NorCal, where I had a cousin who had committed suicide, and it was always me and her as the kuya and ate for like the younger generation up here.
Hmm.
And so, a year after that happened, I decided, I love my job, love my and everything, but I'm gonna have to move back. I'm gonna have to be the kuya and take care of my family, make sure that they're dealing with this trauma okay. So I did that, and shortly after, um, I so my cousin used to be Joe Coy's manager, right? And so they came up for a show in like no, in like early 2009, and one of my other cousins was supposed to go with me, but he had to cancel because he got sick. And so I invited this one girl I just started talking to, um, and she was having a good time, uh, and that was our first date over there in San Jose at the Improv. Uh, Joe Coy tried to take her from me, but I ended up winning. So that's how I won her over. I was funnier. He can't take that from me, or handsomer. I don't know, one or the other. Um,
Probably
but
both.
yeah, probably both. Who knows? Definitely got more hair. But so so things went well with this girl, and I eventually got married to her. And with marriage comes a few nice things like health insurance, right? So I'm here, this young massage therapist, um, freelancing and deciding to go back to school to become a physical therapist. Um, I decide, all right, I got insurance for the first time in forever. I'm 26 years old. I'm healthy as hell. Go and get checked, and turns out I had leukemia. So I got diagnosed with leukemia like 5 months after getting married, and it was
Holy cow!
yeah, it was chronic myeloid leukemia. So it's like a forever cancer. Like my ninth and 22nd pairs of chromosomes are all messed up and wonky. So my body was pumping out a buttload of white blood cells. Like when I got diagnosed, I had like 27 times the amount of blood cells I should have had, which is kind of ironic because that's my lucky number. But roll
Well,
with
hey, you're still here, so it is your lucky number.
right, right. I was able to catch it really early before it got into like a blast phase or something. Um, but unfortunately, one thing I did find out was if I didn't have health insurance, that chemotherapy, I had to take it every day. Um, and if I didn't have health insurance, it would have cost like 20 grand a month. That's a Honda Civic a month, man. Ain't no one got that type of money. I ain't Jeff Bezos.
I mean, even if you did have that type of money, why? I always keep asking this over there, and I think healthcare is probably one of my main issues, um, because we shouldn't go broke because we're sick.
Yeah,
We shouldn't that shouldn't be the case, and especially in the richest country in the world.
right.
Supposedly, we
Supposedly.
shouldn't be, you know, obligating our sick and then the next generation obligating them to debt if unfortunately we pass on. When we eventually do all pass on, we shouldn't be going broke to
Exactly.
to go, to do what everybody's gonna do.
Yeah.
Why
And you know
not
what?
be able to do it with dignity? That's kind of where I'm at with it. It's a shame. It's a
Yeah.
shame.
And you know what's crazy though is the same exact chemotherapy that I was on, that $20,000 a month one. If you go to like Canada or the UK or something, it's only like $50 a month. So yeah, that
It's
really,
mind-boggling the price
yeah.
difference too. When you really think about how much the pharmaceutical companies are gouging us because Congress allows them to,
Hmm.
it's horrible, horrible how much they. I mean, I'm glad that they did something with insulin recently
Hmm.
because my dad's diabetic.
Oh, oh dang.
So I'm glad about what did they cap it at something?
Oh, I'm not too sure.
But I know
But
I
that,
know Biden capped it at something. They got it passed and capped it at a reasonable price, which is good. That's kind of what we have to do with all the drugs. It's
yeah.
it's it's really. But go on with your story, man. So you're diagnosed with leukemia,
Hmm.
and then you're about to get married. So that's it's not even a crossroads. You're at like a you're in
Yeah.
a, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
That's like you got so many different things that could happen and might happen. That's like a multiverse. So
Oh,
what happened? What happened after
yeah.
that?
Yeah. So yeah, my wife could have had Joe Coy, but she ended up with this lemon. But after about a year of being on the medicine, my health had stabilized. I was in molecular remission, which means that the leukemia was undetectable. I still have it, but it's undetectable.
Okay.
And we decided we didn't want to be old parents, and so we decided to start having a family. Uh, had our first kid in 2012. And shortly before he was born, we had closed on this house in San Leandro. And that's how we ended up over here. Because her family was in Alameda, which is like north of here, but also west of Oakland, this little
Okay.
island. So hella Filipinos up there too. Um, but yeah, we were able to close on this house but it was through someone else's misfortune because it was a foreclosed house. And I believe the other people that were living here were Filipino also. So that that's kind of like a little bit of a heartbreak, having to move it into a house that one of our kababayan had um, been kicked out of. Yeah, we moved out here in 2012, and it's been nice up here. For the most part, I was stay-at-home dad raising one kid. We decided to have another, and while I was doing this, um, that pharmaceutical company, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get sued, but they
No,
they yeah,
don't put yourself out there like that.
yeah,
No.
it's all good. But they would fly me out to events because I'm one of the youngest people that is on this chemotherapy, and I would go on stage, sometimes tell jokes, but pretty much show that the chemo worked. You know, and it was a nice little supplemental money, but for the most part, I'm just on disability this whole time. Um, Disability, that's another thing that was pretty crazy. I got denied like twice. I had to lawyer up before getting it because, man, it don't matter if you have forever cancer. I was 26 years old trying to get disability, and they were trying to tell me that I wasn't working long enough. I wasn't working 10 whole years full time, and I'm like, I was in high school, dude. I don't know what to tell you. You know, the economy wasn't that great either. I was trying to look for
That
part-time
is
work,
that's a type of age discrimination
right?
through your diagnosis and then your age. I mean, it's like, how could you have been working like what if you were 22 when you were diagnosed? Then what then? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's crazy the amount of hoops that they'll make you jump through and the amount of loopholes that they'll go through in order to not give you what you're paying for. You know, um, I've been working since I was 16. I've been paying into Social Security, you know, as a form of insurance for myself. So why am I getting denied? But
Hmm.
so being a stay-at-home dad, I've been blessed enough to spend a lot of time with my kids and also read up on a lot of the issues within our U.S. Uh, government. That's what turned me on to like the whole Bernie Sanders stuff because I started following them around the time we had moved out here, so 2012ish, and I was pretty stoked when he ran for president in 2016. And so, I spent a lot of time canvassing. Whenever I had the energy, I would go ahead and canvass, door knock, go to events, and just cheer him on. So it kind of sucked when he wasn't able to win, but them's the breaks. But that did open my eyes to like the whole becoming disabled, and seeing how broken and corrupt our system is. Um, that opened my eyes to not just the healthcare issues, but also the racial injustices. Because it takes a lot of deprogramming to understand that the cops ain't always going to be on your side, and there are police officers that get into the profession because they want to protect and serve. Um, but then there are also those really crooked as hell ones that never face the repercussions. And so one thing that what struck out to me was, I've been on the whole Black Lives Matter thing for years now. Um, when when quarantine had hit, there was this one black male that was murdered inside of a Walmart by police. So he was having a mental breakdown, right? He had a baseball bat. He was just a little bit into the store. Police rolled up, shot him within 40 seconds, and he pretty much died. Rather than taking any of the non-lethal methods, they went straight to lethal.
Hmm.
And so really that really brought home, or brought to light how close these racial injustices are, the whole Black Lives Matter issues are, to where we live. I mean, that's right down the street. I was actually at the In-N-Out Burger right next to that Walmart, like 2 hours before that happened. You know, So it this type of thing can happen anywhere. And so, that got me onto learning more about the history of San Leandro. Like this place used to be a sundown town. They didn't let people like us live here until like the '60s, man. They would run us out.
I mean, there's
They
a
they wouldn't.
lot of stuff. I mean, even just specifically for us Filipinos, not
Mhm.
even when you. I mean, yes, people of color, but
Yeah,
specifically for us Filipinos, the Manongs, there were so many rules and so many different things, and obviously the Watsonville riots and all the
yeah,
different Filipino American historical things that happened to us. It really, once people really understand and kind of comprehend, I understand that there's a big, it's a big deal to understand and learn about the heritage of the Philippines, our motherland. But at the same time, there's so much history that has happened right here where we live,
yeah,
right
yeah.
where, right in your district. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Like
tell me, what did you learn when you went into your history about the sundown town?
yeah, uh, yeah, they wouldn't let people like us live out here. Of course, a lot of that racism was not just built into the real estate industry down here, but it was also built into the policing. And when we look at how things are zoned, for example, in District 6 where I live, it's mostly well, like where my kids go to school, for example, it's 96% minority, right? 96. That's also including the multiracial kids. Uh, we had like I think 10 homeless families or something like that in our school last year. But yeah, you start to see like how little the the district will actually care until someone can be loud about the issues over here. Like for example, if we look in our demographics, so 3/4 of our schools, eight of our 12 schools are Title One. For those that don't know, Title One just means that a majority of those families are low income. Uh, for our school, yeah, we're Title One. We have that 96% minority rate, like I said. We have issues like the street in front of our school is the narrowest of all of the schools within our district. So it's like only about 28 feet across, right? So 28 feet across, you factor in two cars parking on both sides of the road when they're picking up their kids. So that leaves about 14 space of wiggle room, as well as an AC Transit city bus that comes down that same road. That's about 8 or 9 feet wide. Um, that doesn't really leave much space for these families. And we're the only school in this district that has this issue. Like our street is so narrow, we don't even have a line down the middle of the road to separate two lanes.
That's
But it's
horrible.
been like this.
But I keep telling and stressing to
Yeah,
people about this with local politics. These are the issues. These are the people that are going to represent you on the issues that affect you day to day, every day, like
exactly.
dropping your kids off at school. It's a
Hmm.
trip that you don't. We always pay attention every 4 years to the presidential election or sometimes bigger elections in our own state. But in as far as these you guys, the people that are running for these local politicians, the local city councils, these people, you guys are the ones that are really the people that affect our day-to-day lives. And I
Hmm.
always want to, whenever there's an issue that you my best highlights, I always want to pound that into people's heads that local politics, all politics is
Yeah,
local. And the most
exactly.
important politics to me, especially for you as an individual, is also local. So you're getting into it now. Tell me
Yeah.
now, why did you run for, why are you running for city council?
So back to that school bus thing I was talking about. Like nobody could give me
Mm-hmm.
an answer on how I could get this not school bus, the city bus, on how I could get this line addressed and also get a crosswalk in front of the school where people were constantly jaywalking. So I was starting to hit up everybody, city council, school board, the AC transit board. I was hitting up anyone and everyone that I could, so I could make some noise, get this thing taken care of, because that's a public safety issue. Um,
Yeah, for
that was
sure.
at the that was close to the beginning of last year. And then when the summer vacation rolled around, it was kind of radio silence. No one was really communicating back with me. The next school year comes around, and I'm still being vocal about this. But then there comes an incident where a kid almost gets hit by a car from somebody speeding, and two of the parents got into a fist fight in front of the school during the morning drop off. So I hop back onto that email thread and I say, hey, look, we need to do something about this ASAP. I've been trying to get y'all to do something about this. Now we're starting to get some of that data that we don't want to create. I don't remember if I said all that, but I'm pretty sure I thought all that. And immediately after
It's
that,
always a hindsight moment that always gets you exactly the words that you want to say. So it's all good, man.
right?
Exactly where I mean, it just that's real. Um,
Yeah.
so you're not getting any feedback. You're not getting any return on all these messages. So you're reaching a level of frustration, and
Hmm.
I have a feeling you're getting to a point where it's like, yo, forget it. I don't even want to. I don't want to wait for a response. I'm about to be the person that you send these messages to. Right? Is that what is
Yep.
that kind of the thinking behind it, or how did that work in your brain?
Yeah, pretty much. Through all my constant whining and complaining, and the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Um, After that incident, the superintendent actually came out to do like a little traffic survey and witness the site. And I was a little bit peeved because I had tried to get one of the city council members, or not city council, school board members, to come out and actually take a look at this because, I'm trying to go through the proper venues. I'm trying to be, as nice as possible. Um, but he tried to gaslight me. He was pretty much saying, "No, it's just the parents' fault. There's no other issue." And I'm like, I've got videos of and pictures and stuff. All I'm asking is you just come out here one day and witness this with me. And they were
This is
being
a
very
school board member.
yeah, he was being
This is
very
a school
dismissive.
board member. Okay.
Hmm. And so yeah, he pretty much refused to unless I was able to bring up some data. And like I said in my head, I'm trying to prevent this data from being a thing. But yeah, the after the
You'd rather
superintendent had
have
come out.
statistics of kids who are injured than fixing it before that happens. Preventative
Exactly,
measures.
exactly.
Well, and part of it also is, because my wife is president of the PTA and all these
Hey,
things.
I'm
They're
PTO
always,
president.
it's always a question of budget. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you too. No, but you know what
Yeah.
I mean. Like that's part of it. Is like people don't realize that it costs money, right? But then when your board member is so dismissive to you, that's just going to piss you off. That I know that would piss me off. So what happened after that?
So after the superintendent had come out, I was able to catch him during the school pickup time, and I was pointing out things like, hey, we have these the short yellow buses parked on the sidewalk. I'm like, why don't we just move those over to the staff parking lot? What else can I do about this AC transit line that's coming through, and uh, you know, uh, asking what can I do about getting crosswalk over here where everyone's jaywalking. And so, because I had made enough noise, the yellow buses got moved to the staff parking lot. That made the school bus drivers happy because that's a lot safer for them. They were experiencing hit and runs from some of the through traffic, so that's safer for them. That's safer for the kids. And it's like, why wasn't this done before? Why not do this like a decade ago? You know, um,
Because nobody said
Thankfully,
anything, man.
or no, they have been. That's the thing. They have been, but they haven't been as loud and obnoxious as me. And we also live in
Well, that's what I'm saying. Nobody said it the
yeah,
way you said it.
mhm. And so like I'm doing my best to be unignorable, trying to be that force that brings that change out here. Because if they're gonna ignore these parents, I'm gonna let them ignore me. You know, it's because it's not just the parents; it's some of the teaching staff that had brought this up as well, like over the years. One of the teachers I had talked to was retired, and she had been telling me about how hard she's been trying to fight for this. Um, but now we got word that they're actually moving that bus route that's going there, that city bus route. So that's one positive change, which is great. As well, or two if you count the school buses moving. So comes the time to be like, hey, now we need that crosswalk right here. You know, get that tic tac toe. So that's part like that's part of the reasons that I'm running. Like we got the Black Lives Matters issue with the systemic racism. We got the school issues with you know ignoring these kids and these families and making it hell. Another one is rent control, of course, because like I said, three quarters of our schools are Title One. About 70%, a little bit over 70% of these families are low income. You know, we have the stats saying that about 40 something percent of the people in the city are renters, but that number is much higher. We don't have a renter registry to verify that.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing the city does not want to do is, or hasn't been able to get pushed forward, is a rent control ordinance to protect these families. If you want to be able to have a stable community, you need to make sure that they're able to actually have that secure housing so that they can build roots within this community, so that they can end up being part of this community, learning more about their neighbors, not have to worry about going to the next city after this if something fails. Um, that's also an economic issue too, because less money that's going into these corporate landlords means more money that these families have to spend within the local economy, going to these local restaurants, going to dance classes, karate classes, whatever. Because all that ain't cheap.
Enrichment.
I got, yeah, it's enrichment for the families. It gives them that sense of community that they want to stay here and continue to build, and that also just makes for a better quality of life for everybody.
It also
So
enriches the local businesses and all the small businesses around your local town. If your people are staying and feel safe in your neighborhood, well, guess what? They're going to spend money in your neighborhood because they're not going to want to drive far to go spend money if they have the places that it all helps each other. But the part of, I think, what I think the most important thing about this podcast is education, whether it's education and funding for education or it's your own self-education. Whereas like you took it upon yourself to kind of like, you had an issue in front of you and you wanted to change it, and you made as much noise as you possibly could until it was changed. I mean, that's the essence of a free speech society, as a democracy, right? Is
mhm.
you get as many people around your issue, and then you move forward. So let me ask you this: when is your election? Is it going to be in November? Is your city council election in November?
Oh yeah, it's in November, and that's another one of the issues that I want to address out here. It's it's the way that our election works. So we have 6 districts, right? And the way that the elections work, it's not people in your district voting for who represents you. It's the whole city that you have to get to vote for you. So what
Oh,
ends up happening most of the time is all the people in the hills, they're like half of the vote within the city, and they end up choosing who represents every district. So what I want to do is be able to encourage and inspire people to come out and vote. I want to give them someone to vote for. I want to give that actual diversity, equity, and inclusion, not just on the racial sense, but also on the economic sense. Because I'm broke. I want to represent the broke people.
no, bro. Because
Yeah.
here, here's where we'll converge, man. I I've been a stand-up comedian for a long time. I've been an actor since 1997. So that means that I've been living check to check my whole life. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
to that point, like my second comedy special is called Unemployable, because like you, where you have odd job, the odd job, the odd job, the odd job in your 20s and 30s. Well, when you get to your 40s and 50s, you can't move from odd job to odd job to odd job to odd job anymore,
Mm.
because
Mhm.
now you're 40 years old and them 20-year-olds are grabbing all them odd job to odd jobs.
Mhm.
So now where do you go? Where do you get a job now? You know what I'm saying? That's
Mhm.
so I was lucky enough, to be honest, that I was able to have comedy and acting to fall back on almost. The idea that if I can't get a job, well, at least I can concentrate on my comedy career and my
Mhm.
podcasting and see if I can get that monetized, because I feel like I have a better chance of that because that's what I've been working in. So,
Mhm.
but to get a job, a part-time job, a regular job, I don't know that that's in the cards in my future anymore, just because, man, it's a tough market out there, especially for guys who are getting older. And I
Mhm.
and I feel like that there's a lack of voice for people like us. And I applaud you, and I'm mad respect for you taking it upon yourself to run for office, because it takes a lot. And yeah, it might be a good source of income, but at the same time, bro, it also
It's
you're
not
taking
even.
an active part in your community. But
Yeah,
but
it's
you
not
know,
even a
but you
good
but you,
source of income.
it's a source of income. You know, yeah. So you
What's a
get
trip?
some money for it.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I'm
Huh?
actually going to be taking a pay cut because I'm actually going to be making less than I am on disability if I actually get this seat. Because this seat only pays like 1,300 a month, man. So this is
Listen,
really an endeavor of heart for me, because I want to. I don't care
do
if
you
it's a
know how
pay cut.
much
If I can.
writing jokes and anyway, I'm not gonna say
Oh
how
yeah.
much I'm
Oh no
making,
no
but
no. Man, I know it don't make that much either because I've been doing that for free.
no, but
Yeah.
it's very interesting, and I'm like I said, I'm very excited about your candidacy, because it does take a little bit of it, you know it I don't even know what's a word in Tagalog. Like, you have to be a little bit mayabang to run for office. You have to have some confidence. You have to believe in yourself. Um, yeah, believe ko sa sarili ko, right? Like, you have to believe in yourself, and it takes a lot to believe in yourself,
Yeah.
especially nowadays. And especially if you don't have a lot of money, and
And
because a lot of
especially
our
coming.
society validates us with how much money we have.
Mhm.
And
It's,
so, I applaud you for running for office, man. So let people know
yeah.
where they can find you, where they can support you, and how they can support you.
Oh yeah, they can hit me up on RB4, the number 4, sanleandro.com. Um, they can help me by just pushing out my Insta, my Facebook fan page, or not really fan page, but political page. Because really, what I'm trying to do, I didn't even get into how much it costs to run out here. I need to make at least $40,000 in order to have a chance in this campaign. And like I said,
So
that's
when are
because
those
part of it
deadlines
is
by?
by the end of the campaign, really. So what I'm trying to
Okay,
do
okay.
is what I'm trying to do is just get a wave of like support from people, just the small donations, because I want to be able to make that change and represent us. Like the city likes to say, "Oh, we love diversity, equity, and inclusion," but it's only if you got money. So what I'm trying to do is get that wave of small donations. If I can get like enough people, like if I can get 100 people to donate $5, that's like $500. That's like one McChicken nowadays. This economy is whack, man. So if I can get a bunch of people to just donate one McChicken to me, I think that'll help with just supporting the campaign and fighting for all the all the underrepresented people in the city. And I'm hoping that this brand of politics that I'm bringing forward will bring more, inspire more people to run. Because if I'm able to do this, I'm going to try and make it as emulatable as possible. Because I want this type of thing to not just happen here in San Leandro. I want it to happen over in San Francisco, over in Daly City, over in uh, Oxnard. I don't know, wherever. I want it to be kind of like a movement type of thing, so that way people can make those changes in their city and protect each other from these corporate landlords that and the systemic racism that is constantly got its boot on our throats. And so
I
I
feel you,
also
man.
like
I feel you, and that's why you're on this program, man. Because
yeah.
I like I said, I'm very much about getting the word out, not only for our kababayan that are running for office, but just kababayan that are doing good things for their community. And you like I said, you saw a problem in your community where you drop your kids off at school, no less, and you went about trying to fix it, and now you're going to take that next step and running for office, which is again something that is definitely imitatable and inspiring, hopefully, to our kababayan and to not just Filipinos, but to everybody. All the AAPI that were underrepresented during the pandemic can now run for office, just like you. And for me, I'm more. I say too much outlandish stuff to ever run for office, and I never want to be. I never want to censor myself in that way. I censor myself enough on this podcast.
Dude,
I
I
stop
say
myself from swearing like 6 times. It's crazy.
yeah.
No, but I'm not a politician. But at
Yeah.
the same time, if I can help you in any way get your message out, and like you said, you just shared your story, man, and part of you know getting people to get inspired by you is by sharing your inspirations, and your inspirations as a person who's unfortunately had to go through our medical system and see the perils of it, but also the people who your kids, when you drop your kids off at school, you went down to that level and you're measuring the street. You're going down. You're a politician, but you're a politician that I think cares down to the nitty gritty, which is somebody I can get behind, and I want to be able to help you get your, like I said, help you get your message out. So again, tell them again. Tell them, and then we're gonna put it on all the on all the paragraph suggestions on the podcast. But tell them again, where can they find you? Tell them you got a website to go to where they can donate to your campaign, and if they want to volunteer for your campaign, tell them where to go.
Oh yeah, most def. And you don't have to be in my city to volunteer. I could use some help online as well. So, like I said, it's RB, the number 4, sanleandro.com. I got links to my Insta, got links to my Facebook. I might do Twitter, I'm not too sure. Probably gonna do TikTok because I need to make those reels and stuff. Um, and yeah, when you were bringing up that whole unemployable special, that was actually my previous. I was streaming for a while. I was going by unemployable trophy husband. But
Yeah,
so
that's bro.
yeah,
Look at me.
yeah,
Look at my backdrop.
yeah.
I am an unemployable trophy husband. Look at my cheek.
Hey, you can take that
Come on,
number. You can take it. You can take it. I'm passing on to you if you want to take it. But yeah,
listen.
like
So you know what? I want to talk to you a little bit more about that and being a dad and stay at home
yeah,
dad, because that's where we are straight up hardcore in common.
yeah,
Like part of me, like, okay, so my kids are now 13 and 9.
mhm,
Well, one's going into high school, one's going into middle school, so they're getting older, and their memories are their memories. Now they're going to remember everything that's going on, whereas I was able to remember their first steps and their first words and hold them in my, you know what I'm saying? Like I was
yeah,
able to do that because I'm home, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I was able to raise them as babies. I was able to, I carried them on my chest when I did housework.
mhm,
And you think about, like, I had my first comedy special. Now I got my second comedy special. I'm going on tour all over these places. And I'm turning 50. And if you'd have told me when I was 25 that when I was 50, this is how it was going to roll, I'd have been like, perfect. Because,
Ooh, chef kiss.
And I'm only going to bring it up at the end of our podcast because you mentioned to Mitch, I guess your first thing was that you recognized me from something
Manny
that I did.
Pacquiao. Yeah, way back in the day. I was like, oh, snap, it's Manny Pacquiao. I remember him.
That's crazy, dude, that you still remember that. Cause that was 2009 when I did that sketch. So yeah, I'm really happy that my comedy stayed in your head for that long. Bro, no, but I'm honored that you're on my podcast because
I'm honored that you let me on here.
You know, you're gonna do things, man. I know that your drive, your initiative, and your kulit. You're kulit. So you're gonna bug them until they listen. So I'm really glad for that, man. I'm really glad for that. I'm really happy to have you on the podcast. So just to wrap it up, give it to them one more time. Just give it to them one more time. What's the website? Just give them. Bah! Look at that.
Look at that sign.
Look at that video.
Oh,
RB4Leandro.com.
Look at that. Oh, so fresh, so fresh. Look at that. Oh my God, my sign.
So fresh. What a perfect ending for the episode. Guys, if you like what you heard, if you like what you've seen, why don't you go ahead and subscribe and write a review. Yeah. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. Just rate us, interact with the pod, share us with your friends, and also share your boy, Robert, because he needs help with his campaign. So spread the word. Yes, we can, y'all. Yes, we can. So let's go.
The fight don't stop. The fight don't stop.
Erick Esteban and Robert Aguilar Bulatao.
Hey, street by street, block by block. Yes, sir. Street by street and block by block. Ooh. That's how we rock, baby.
All right. All right. We'll see you later. Have a good day.
Catch you later, man. Thanks for having me on.
I don't think you want any problems, but you got one. Here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, it's summertime, starting up a heat wave, and now all weekend, hardly slept in 3 days. Whoever's driving the car's the DJ. When it's Q, you better pump that bass. The dominance is obvious, I guillotine, heads roll everywhere I go, I rep Philippines. Found my way, turn amaze to amazing. Infinite flows discovered in an ancient spaceship. I see things before they happen, visionary. Bury me inside a studio at the cemetery. My modus operandi not monetary. Noah Lazarus, the holy one out the monastery. So let me see your cue, plus the Y, that's the crew. I'm a giant, how I grew, still connected to my roots. Rhymes, I kick it like Bruce, got me feeling like Zeus. Standing tall like Manu, to reach this level need a boost. I don't think you want any problems, but you got one, here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, smoother than Brazilian wax, I interact. My life a cinematic reflection in the mirror max. With the pros, I'm proliferating. She said my syntax sounds so scintillating. Flavormatics on the beat, savory. Being scared, still doing it, that's bravery. Hunger turn us into savages. Ain't nobody give us nothing, had to do it alone, without a loan. Like Norfolk, Queens, Aquafina had the shell toe. Adidas used to hang with the drug dealers. Been doing this since cassette tapes in my Walkman, writing rhymes on the subway. Traditions I carry on, hip-hop scholar, mastered in the street science. Raw diamonds, I refine them with the stars and alignment. Got the youth to the truth. On the tree of knowledge, squeeze forbidden fruit and made it juice. I don't think you want any problems, but you got one, here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, I just wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night with you. I just wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night with you.